These are the general steps for a domain name transfer. Before you try to transfer your domain, make sure that you have owned it for at least 60 days or more. If you've just recently bought your domain, the transfer won't work. The fast domain transfer method will only work if your registrar gives you the option to approve of the domain transfer. From what I read, if your domain expires during the transfer process, it should still go through. But just to be safe, I would recommend, transferring your domain at least a week before your expiration occurs, because that will at least give you enough time, I'm guaranteed, to transfer your domain over to a new registrar. The first step to beginning your domain transfer is to get the EPP code, which is just an authorization code. So if you're not already in your dashboard, you go to Account Dashboard, and the way to get the EPP code is you just go to Manage for your domain. And the EPP code is basically a password for your domain, which will allow you to transfer it. So then you go to the Sharing and Transfer tab here, and you scroll down to the Transfer Out section, and to get the auth code, you just click this button, and you could put your reason, sure, this one, and then you just do send code, and it will send it to the email address associated with the domain. Once you do that, you'll immediately get an email where it gives you your authorization code. Once you do that, the next step is in the same section of transfer out, you have to unlock it. So once you unlock it, you can transfer it, but it'll do this. It may take up to 5 days for the transfer to complete. Once you've unlocked it, you then have to go to domain and disable the WhoIs privacy stuff, which is here. This one. So yes, I'll give you a warning, and then you just disable that. So once you've finished disabling your WhoIs protection, you should change your Nameservers to the host you want. Mine's already set to Hostinger, so I don't have to change anything. But the only reason why you would want to do this is because to prevent downtime during the transfers. Because let's say you're changing domain registrar, and you're also changing your host. During the transfer process, you can't change the Nameservers. So if you change it in advance, where you don't have to change it during the transfer, your site will still be up. Every host has their own Nameservers. Usually you'll find it in your hosting providers. There's a dashboard thing. So for Hostinger, you go to website, and it doesn't matter which one you click. But if you go to hosting, plan details, they'll give you the Nameservers, and along with the rest of your account information. But all you need are these ones. If you're using Hostinger, it should be similar for any other hosting provider. Final step will be to purchase the domain transfer. So you would log into Hostinger if you're using Hostinger. You go to the domains, and then you would go here, which says transfer an existing domain. So you just click that, and then you put your domain name. Make sure you get the full domain, including the top level domain, which is .com, .net, .org, whichever is yours may be. Just make sure that's all correct. In this case, they tell you how much each one costs. So once you make sure you got that correct, you transfer it. Transfer. It says ready for transfer. Okay, so all you have to do is purchase it. So I'm gonna purchase it, complete payment. Okay, now that that's done and we've purchased it, the final step will be doing that authorization code, the EPP code that we got in the email. So this is the authorization code. You just copy that and you just paste that in. Okay, I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, that's right. And I'm just gonna keep it the same. Keep existing name servers. And you just transfer domain. So it'll take 5 to 7 days. And that's pretty much it. Once you start the request, you should get a confirmation email. So it'll say something like this. Yeah, and then it says this. If you do nothing, it'll like automatically go through on the 22nd. And mine expires on the 28th, so it's within the time frame. I'm not sure what this is. I'll click it. So you can speed up your transfer by approving the domain transfer. So it says right here that if approved, your domain will be released from Namecheap and the transfer will be completed right away. So after this, it should be approved either today or tomorrow, instead of the usual 5 to 7 days. After I approved the domain transfer, the next day it went through. So if you are given the option to approve releasing your domain from the registrar, it'll only take 2 to 3 days. For me, it was the next day. But for Hostinger to see if the transfer went through, it'll disappear from the transfer list. Also, just to add, when the transfer completes, the transfer lock will be enabled again, along with the WhoIs privacy. So you won't have to reactivate it when the transfer completes. But you can double check it by looking at your domain info. For me, I didn't have to change anything. And for the final thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to verify that the transfer is completed by checking the WhoIs database. There are multiple places you can check the WhoIs database with, but I'm just going to use the GoDaddy WhoIs lookup tool. So now you can see that the registrar says Hostinger instead of Namecheap, and it's hiding my personal information, so the WhoIs privacy is working too.